The lifeless remains of Tristyn Bailey, a 13-year-old 7th grade student, sent shockwaves through the community when they were discovered on Mother's Day, May 9, 2021. The distressing revelation unfolded just hours after her family had alerted authorities about her disappearance. The brutality of the situation was further underscored by the horrifying details that emerged. She had endured a staggering 114 stab wounds. And to make matters even worse, the culprit was a fellow classmate, 14-year-old Aiden Fucci. This is the absolutely tragic case of Tristyn Bailey. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Wicked and Wild, where we cover all types of true crime, whether solved or unsolved, terrifying and tragic, or just plain wicked and wild. I'm your host, Tyler, here to give you exactly what you came for. And with that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into it. It was on a Sunday morning on May 9, 2021, in the beautiful community of Durbin Crossing in St. John's, Florida. This was a day celebrated by almost everybody to say thanks and show appreciation to the person that we truly love the most. And of course, I'm talking about Mother's Day. And the Bailey family was no different, starting their morning with a special Mother's Day breakfast. The Baileys are a family of 7, consisting of parents Forrest and Stacy, and their 5 children, and one of them, unfortunately, being the main focus of our story, 13-year-old Tristyn Bailey. While the kids were making their special breakfast for their mother, they happened to notice that they were missing someone, and that someone was Tristyn. Figuring she slept in or was getting ready, one of Tristyn's sisters, Sophia, went up to Tristyn's room to get her and start this Mother's Day off right. Besides, it was already 10 in the morning. Sophia made her way up to Tristyn's room, but was completely shocked to find that the room was empty. She immediately ran to tell the rest of her family, and after the family searched the entire property and still no sign of Tristyn, Stacy frantically called the police to report her daughter missing. The police took this very serious, especially knowing that Tristyn was not the type to run away. Being a very dedicated and talented cheerleader, it made her a bit of a local celebrity. Within an hour of Tristyn's mother reporting her missing, the police would go to Facebook, posting a missing child poster and asking the community for help. This would have a massive effect, with Durbin Crossing being a very safe, tight-knit, and loving community. Everybody pulled together in an effort to hopefully locate the 13-year-old local star. While the community pulled together to have search parties, make flyers, and spread the word, police went around interviewing anyone they could and asking for any video surveillance to be turned in for evidence. That's when police received footage from the Durbin's Crossing Amenity Center showing 2 people cutting through the parking lot around 1:15 in the morning, and one of them looked exactly like Tristyn. Police also received a home video that captured this same 2 people walking through the neighborhood just before walking into the parking lot around that same time. Unfortunately, that home video had another clip, one much more worrying, showing just one of those 2 original people walking in the opposite direction as in the first clip, but this being 2 hours later at 3:27 in the morning. Police needed to find out who this person was and continue to interview people, and that's when they came across one of Tristyn's friends named Trey. Trey would go on to tell police that he and another friend had convinced Tristyn to sneak out of her house just after midnight, which she did, leaving shortly after around 1 a.m. with the other friend. That's when Trey would tell police that the other friend was 14-year-old Aiden Fucci. With 14-year-old Aiden now being the last person to have seen Tristyn, police would race to Aiden's house, and after making contact, asked Aiden to clarify things in the video and asked him to show his and Tristyn's route that night, which he agreed to. Aiden would go on to say that after departing Trey with Tristyn, that they walked together for a short time but then parted ways. When Aiden said he didn't get home until 3:30 in the morning, police questioned him on why it took so long to get back when he was just a mile away from his home. Aiden would change his story multiple times, ultimately claiming that Tristyn made a sexual advance towards him, which he then pushed her, causing her to fall and strike her head. And he didn't see if she got up, apparently due to him smoking marijuana just before leaving their friend's house. The officer that questioned Aiden, believing a crime may have occurred, explained Aiden his constitutional rights and dropped him off to his parents. Just a couple hours after dropping Aiden off, police received an email, but this wasn't just any email. This email contained some pictures and videos of what seemed to be Aiden in the back of a cop car. One of the pictures was a selfie with the caption, "Hey guys, has anyone seen Tristyn lately?" along with a video smiling and laughing, continued with some bad acting of him being clueless and frustrated about potentially getting arrested.
We're having fun in a fucking cop car.
Yep. Tristyn.
What's up, guys?
Yep.
Tristyn, if you fucking walk out the damn...
When you see this in a month...
Fucking missile rifle on this bitch.
Oh my god.
God damn, dude has fucking like flashbangs and shit back there. It's in a fucking cop car, cuz. It's tripping, dude.
After reviewing the Snapchats, police immediately sent officers to confiscate Aiden's phone, as there might be evidence pertaining to Tristyn's disappearance. While on the way to locate Aiden in his phone, police received word that unfortunately, Tristyn's body had been found at 6:06 p.m. by a resident walking through a wooded area, a full 16 hours since she was last seen on camera. Tristyn's body showed signs of being viciously stabbed with no signs of sexual assault and no sign of a robbery due to her phone, $20, and a cotton candy vape, though completely covered in blood, were still there. Officers would grow more concerned when they would discover writing was also found on each of her ankles, with one ankle with the word karma on it and her other ankle having a drawing of a smiley face. This seriously caused investigators to wonder who could do such a thing to a young 13-year-old girl. Now a homicide investigation, police went to the home of Aiden Fucci, taping off and securing the house in search of evidence, along with taking Aiden into custody, and of course his cell phone. Aiden was brought to the station where he was to be interviewed by police, and his parents were in attendance. Aiden's parents were visibly shaken up and worried, unsure if their son may have actually had something to do with Tristyn's disappearance, or even worse, her murder. Once in the interrogation room, Aiden was reminded by his parents that he was being recorded at all times and to stick with one story and to not say anything until the attorney has arrived. Shockingly, almost instantly after giving their son this advice, Aiden's parents started to question him about the night and finally breaking the news to him that Tristyn's body had been found and how it wasn't looking good for him.
You know they found this girl, right?
Where?
In our neighborhood. Down our main street.
Is she good?
No, she's dead. That's why this is very important. It's all on you right now.
What is my problem?
You were
You
the
were
last
the
one.
last one seen with her, so right now it's facing you right now, son. So however you talk, you breathe, you think, then you respond.
When Aiden would respond with a very cold, "Well, how's that my problem?" it was pretty clear that he definitely was the last person with her and that he definitely had more to hide. While Aiden was sitting in the interrogation room, and even before that, somehow his Snapchat videos in the back of the cop car had made its rounds on social media, and public opinion was pointing Aiden as the person responsible. People had become so outraged by the discovery of Tristyn's body that when Aiden's Snapchat videos went viral, Aiden's family members would begin to receive a severe number of death threats themselves. While Aiden was being questioned by detectives, his house was being searched for evidence relating to the crime, and police found what they came for. Aiden's home would reveal a Buck brand knife sheath, a pair of wet, white Nike shoes with blood on them, a t-shirt with blood on it, a white piece of paper with handwriting with possible blood on it, and a pair of wet blue denim jeans in a laundry basket. They also found blood and dirt on the drain in the bathroom sink next to Aiden's bedroom. After being questioned by detectives, and Aiden claiming he's innocent, police still felt they had enough evidence to officially charge him with second-degree murder, and on May 10th, just before noon, police released a statement reporting the arrest of 14-year-old fellow classmate Aiden Fucci for the murder of Tristyn Bailey. Aiden's first court arraignment was on May 11th, where it was decided that he will be held in a juvenile detention center for the duration of the trial. The next day, the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office announced that Tristyn Bailey's official cause of death is stabbing. With the investigation ongoing in the pursuit of more evidence and a clear motive, new information would be released on May 27th. The state attorney's office revealed that Tristyn was stabbed an unbelievable 114 times, 35 of those being to her head, with another 46 being defensive wounds, meaning that she fought for her life, and she fought hard. But unfortunately, there's only so much one can do against a knife, especially when taken by surprise. I really don't think it's possible to read or hear that without your stomach turning or blood boiling. With such jaw-dropping information, Aiden's charges were up to first-degree premeditated murder, along with announcing that he will be charged as an adult, with a possible sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole, which, in my opinion, is way too lenient of a sentence for this shitbag. With police still searching for anything to help with this case, a knife was recovered from a nearby pond, and police were convinced it was the knife used on poor Tristyn. This was backed up by a missing piece of the blade that had broken off, and that broken piece was actually found in Tristyn's skull. Police were stacking up evidence against Aiden when they would learn more shocking details. Detectives interviewing Aiden's friends told police that Aiden was a collector of knives and had nicknamed two of them, Picker and Poker. Friends also said that he talked about killing, actually pretty often. Aiden would fantasize about it and go into detail about how he would commit the evil act. Exactly 30 days before the murder, Aiden told a friend that he was going to kill someone within the month, and he was going to do it by dragging them into the woods where he would go on to stab them. Now, it's not uncommon for teenagers to say wild, outrageous things, especially these days with access to the internet. It's as if we as a people, especially the younger generations, are much more desensitized to this kind of talk than previous generations. But this was no fake. Aiden kept his word, and on the last day of his 1-month goal to kill someone, Tristyn Bailey was unfortunately the victim to Aiden's twisted plan. It's crazy to think that if Aiden's friends spoke to someone about these violent comments from a 14-year-old psychopath, that maybe this would have never happened and the world wouldn't have lost a very beautiful and talented person. It was on June 5th when documents were released showing that Aiden had pleaded not guilty to the charges against him, opening the door for a trial, while also giving investigators a chance to gather more crucial evidence. As if this whole ordeal couldn't get more strange or twisted, this case was about to take a very shocking turn. On the same day that Aiden pleaded not guilty, Crystal Smith, Aiden's mother, turned herself in after police reviewed footage of Aiden's home cameras. The footage showed that on May 9th, after police took Aiden, Crystal was recorded finding Aiden's bloody jeans and attempting to scrub them clean in the sink, returning the wet jeans to Aiden's room before police taping off the house. Police charged Stacy with tampering of evidence, which can carry a term of up to 5 years in prison. Unbelievably, Stacy was later released from jail just a few hours after turning herself in, later entering a written plea of not guilty to evidence tampering. On September 1st, Aiden appeared virtually to his court hearing from county jail. But this appearance, he was going to put on a show. He appeared completely confused and to be talking to himself about demons taking his soul, constantly looking around the room while mumbling and rocking back and forth in his chair. He would continue this act and even go on to say that he didn't know where he was or why he was there, that he only wanted to talk to his mom and dad.
What's going on? I don't let you demons. I don't let you demons take my soul. You demons want to take my soul away. I don't let you demons steal my soul. I don't know what's going on. What I see you first. What's going on? you got going on? Why am I here? I just want to talk to my mom and dad. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Like I said, he put on a show. I never said he was good at acting. The usual pre-trial shenanigans continued, pushing back the trial date again and again, all the while Aiden Fucci in jail continues to cause problems. Records show Aiden being involved in fights, along with threatening to kill the correction officers, other inmates, and their families. After almost a full 2 years since Tristyn's death, and after being denied to push the trial date back any further by Aiden's legal team, Aiden shocked everybody by pleading guilty to the slaying of Tristyn Bailey on February 6, 2023. Aiden's 2-day sentencing hearing started on March 21, 2023, with the prosecution's goal of trying to paint a picture of who Aiden truly is. And that's something that I can't say on YouTube. But we can all agree that this kid is a shitbag. The next and final day of his sentencing hearing, Tristyn's family got to speak directly to Aiden. Tristyn's sister Alexis, going up first, made a heartbreaking show. She brought a glass jar up to the stand and poured 114 teal stones in the jar, representing each stab wound her young sister took on that Mother's Day.
114. This jar now holds 114 stones, one for each of the 114 stab wounds that my sister had to endure. It was 1 hour and 42 minutes between when my sister was last seen and when Aiden Fucci was next seen, running out of the woods holding his shoes because his feet hurt. It's funny that such a simple statement can bring such anger. Aiden Fucci could show compassion for his sore feet, yet had nothing to leave for my beautiful sister. The number of questions I have for Aiden Fucci surrounding that night plague my mind. Did she see you coming at her with the knife? Or did you stab her while she wasn't paying attention? Did she scream out for help? Or was she paralyzed with agony? Did she cry for my mother? Did she beg you to stop? Did you hear her lungs gargling with blood? Or did you see it in her face when she realized she could no longer breathe due to her collapsed lungs? What were her last words? Did you stay to watch her die? Or did you leave her there in agonizing pain as you ran away? How long did she suffer? Did you watch the life leave her eyes? Do you know the answer to any of these questions? Or were you too caught up in the thrill of the kill?
After Alexis made her touching and powerful statements, the rest of Tristyn's family went up to speak to Aiden through their broken hearts. The most important, though, is the Bailey family finished by asking the judge to consider what Aiden has put their family through and to give Aiden what he deserves, which is the max punishment and nothing less. Fortunately, Aiden Fucci was then found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. Unfortunately, because of his age during the crime, his sentence is up for review in 25 years, giving a judge an option to give a lighter sentence. But hopefully no one is dumb enough to let this psychopath like that back into the public. Aiden's mother was sentenced to 30 days in jail, released on June 4th, 2023, and will be on probation for 5 years. Which, considering her trying to hide evidence, knowing what that poor girl went through, was beyond too light of a sentence, in my opinion. Now, the first thing I want to say is I want to send my sincere and deepest condolences to the Bailey family. I could not imagine something like this. This case was truly heartbreaking, and I couldn't even imagine this happening to my younger brother. I don't have any sisters, but nonetheless, this is something that I don't know if I could handle. Aiden Fucci deserves to rot in prison for the rest of his life, especially after making those Snapchat videos, taking it as a joke, not caring in the interrogation room, putting her family through 2 years of just lawyer games, all to just plead guilty at the end because of whatever reason. And with that being said, once again, I send my sincere and deepest condolences to the Bailey family and friends. And please, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you like the video. Please tell me some cases that you want me to do. I would love that. And I'll see you guys on the next one.